Howdy. I am CharLee Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk, talking about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion. One decides what life is going to be like here on earth, the other one decides what it's going to be like when we leave it. The silent majority has finally found its voice. I'm looking forward to talking to two voices who have gotten louder, and that's what I'm encouraging to everyone: get louder. After the tragedy, the senseless, horrific murder of Charlie Kirk last week, we're all still in shock, stunned, mourning, outraged. A righteous indignation is how Benny Johnson put it. And that's what I'm feeling too. I really am. We don't understand God's greater plan, but we do know that there are enemies who are doing everything they can to shut up and shut down and still any kind of voices that speak against loving our country, loving the place that the Lord blessed us with, actually supporting that, wanting to see it thrive for all, not just some, for all. And we rose up in the presidential election last year, and Donald Trump, I do believe, is doing extraordinary things. I'm watching Caroline Leavitt, his press secretary, speaking out boldly against what happened with Charlie Kirk. I've seen President Trump obviously step up. I've seen other organizations or groups step up, and I didn't see it, but I understand. Even Whoopi Goldberg from The View recently said, this kind of violence has to stop. Whoopi Goldberg. So it affected us in a very powerful way. But we've also seen the other side rise up and mock, make fun of it, laugh about it. Joyful, gleeful that the fact that this man was murdered, this family man, this God-fearing Christian, this conservative was murdered. They love it. So I do believe strongly in Ephesians 5:11, be no part of the works of darkness, but instead even expose it. And that's what this show has been about, really from the beginning, exposing evil. So in California, where I live, Northern California, we have a gubernatorial election next year, 2026. We're electing a new governor. The cheating has been so rampant. As a matter of fact, we've invented ways to cheat in elections. We, as in collective California, has invented ways to cheat in elections that are so effective that other nefarious and just wicked states are adopting our tactics of cheating. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. My own elected representatives have not been speaking out against it. They don't even talk about it. Oh, you're an election denier. And I don't deny there was an election. I deny that it was honest and fair. Yeah, I deny that. You bet I do. Oh, there was an election, but it was not an honest one. It happened. We saw it in the recall just a few years ago when we tried to get rid of Governor Hairdo, as I affectionately call him. This guy right here, who he's taken it to a whole new level of dancing and skirting around issues. Did you see this?
The budget is obviously a paramount process for you and the legislature, and I just want to ask you about something on the other end of the budget on a different topic, on public safety. Do you think it looks good to the taxpayer for an assembly member who is also the wife of the Attorney General to lead a committee that oversees his budget and other departments?
I literally don't know what you're referring to.
Assembly.
You see that guy in the background, by the way? He's one of his bodyguards, and he tries to stay in the background as much as possible. Governor Hairdo loves to rock back and forth because he's a nutbag. And it's really funny watching that bodyguard guy in the background. I don't know if he's out of Governor Hairdo's pocket or if we're paying for it. Try and stay behind the governor so his face isn't on camera during this. Okay, go ahead, continue.
Member Mia Bonta is set to lead the Budget Sub-5 Committee on Public Safety. I mean, the Attorney General oversees ethics in the state, distributes ethics training to state officials.
I'm just telling you, I thank you for informing me. The legislature makes their determination. I have no idea.
You don't, is it ethical or not?
I don't even know what you're referring to. I'm hearing it for the first time.
I'm hearing it for the first time. I'm hearing it for the first time. That's a crappy dude right there. And we were stupid enough to elect him a first time, and then we reelected him for a second term. How does that happen? He's been a disaster. The state of California, as he keeps bragging, used to be the 6th largest economy in the world. Then he started saying 5th, and now he's saying 4th. I don't know where he's getting his stats. I don't know where these numbers come from. I doubt if it's true highly, because we're broke. We're broke. They set aside $150 million in an Stop Trump fund. This is a bad place that we're in. And we need a good person running this state. But can one person really make a difference if that one person is going to get in there and not do anything to really stop the wickedness that is put into positions of tremendous power? We saw a governor last time we had a recall of a governor. What was that? 2003, Gray Davis, because he doubled and even tripled the registration fees for vehicles and doubled taxes and increase on fuel. Well, it's far past double now in California. Governor Hairdo is doing the same thing Gray Davis did. We tried to recall him. That failed. Did it actually fail? No, I don't think so. I think it actually worked. But they cheated. So how do we win next year? How do we actually finally have a Republican governor in the state of California again? There are some people who are getting behind candidates, conservative candidates, and saying, look at this dude. Look at him. Look what he's doing. Daniel Mercury is coming to Northern California. And there's a couple of great folks who are really working to let everybody know this is an opportunity to get to know somebody that the media is ignoring. Not all media, not me. I've had Daniel Mercury on several times, and I'll have him on again. He's not the only one running, though, who are good people. There's a lot of them. There's a strong bench of conservative leaders who are running to be governor of California. But before the primary gets here next summer, the primary election, we're going to have to come together and narrow it down to one, or they're going to split the vote. And then in the jungle primary that we have in California, where the two top vote getters, regardless of what party they're in, will go to the final election in November. And we're seeing 2 Democrats run for things because the Democrats know how to throw people in there to confuse us. And we have people in our own Republican Party, what I like to call rhinos, Republicans in name only, infiltrators, really, they are, who will get behind a candidate that they know isn't going to win. And then we split the vote. So a good guy like Daniel Mercury has somebody else running also as a conservative or a Republican, splitting the vote. That's going to happen next summer unless we come together behind one candidate. Right now, the front runner is Steve Hilton. His last report was only at like 12%, though. Chad Bianco's another strong one. The Republican Party of California seems to be fully behind the 2 of them. They haven't really narrowed it down yet. Will there be a dark horse coming in? Is Rick Grinnell just waiting in the wings? Is he going to swoop in and save the day? He's got all the money. He's got a little bit of name recognition, and he's got President Trump's support. He hasn't done that yet. I'm a fan of Daniel Mercury, but I'm a fan of many who are running. I like all of them. Frankly, there isn't anybody that I thought, oh, no, that's a wrong choice. Every single one of them would be strong contenders. So we got to look at other aspects of it biblically. As a follower of Christ Jesus, I want to vote biblically. Daniel Mercury is a strong believer. And there's 2 folks who are going to introduce him to you in a public way where you can actually ask questions and be there and meet him, shake his hand, get a picture with him. And it's happening in October. Minnie Ha-Ha, that's what she calls herself, and Legend are on Do Not Talk today. Hit it. Well, welcome. Welcome to the big old bad old broadcast. How are you, my friends?
Howdy, Charlie.
Legend? Can
Excellent. How
you
are
hear
you,
me?
buddy?
Oh, I'm doing well, thanks. I'm
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
borderline amazing. Yeah, absolutely. So, Minnie, I know you're the one that really spearheaded this whole thing in your county where you are, Calaveras, which I happen to love Calaveras County. It's got great history. It's a gold rush up in the gold rush country, 1849, the gold rush that shaped California and shaped the nation, really, with the gold rush and the silver rush later on, too. That's where you live, and that's where you're going to be holding this event in a town called Copperopolis. Copperopolis. It's a great little area. And Legend, what's your aspect of all of this? How do you come into it?
Minnie just invited me out there. She knows that I'm a big fan of Daniel. I talk with him on a regular basis, probably 4 nights a week in my Legend After Dark spaces or the CAP spaces that we have for the California Patriot Project. So I've gotten to know him really, really well over the last 6 months. I consider him a friend at this point, and he's a good man. I bring in many candidates into the California Patriot Project, and we've been vetting out candidates for about the last 6 months. And we've had David Serpa Markham, Leah Nerjano,
Leo Naranjo.
Narano, yes, I can never pronounce the guy's name, and Daniel, many others that have come in and heard Daniel talk that were running for governor, and then after hearing Daniel talk, they said, "Well, how can I get behind you?" I mean,
I
that's
have
pretty
been
good when you can steer another
I've been
candidate.
talking about the governor's election, where members of my own party have been telling me, Charlie, it's too early. Shouldn't be talking about this yet. It's just going to confuse people. Because does that mean we're supposed to sit back and just let you decide who would be best to run? No,
Yeah,
I want to know. I want to hear from everybody. I want to hear their point of view. And as the door is open, I'm in several text threads, and I do participate in conference calls as well. And Minnie, I think it's one of the ones that you were on, where one of the gubernatorial candidates was ripping on Daniel Mercury, saying, "Oh, he wants to get in there and sue everybody, and he wants to put people in jail who broke the law during the COVID shutdown and everything else." And we just don't need that right now. And I piped in loudly saying, "That's why I like him." Are you serious? President Trump is doing the same thing. Would you have been saying in advance, "Oh no, he just wants to put people in jail who broke the law"? We need a governor like that. Are you serious? Many of you been
and
hearing the same thing?
Yeah, so we want someone to hold the corrupt and tyrannical accountable. And Daniel Mercury is that voice coming out of these some 24 candidates saying, look, I want to hold the corrupt accountable. Plus, he has the constitutional know how to do so.
Yeah, he fully does. And your event is coming up when and where exactly?
Okay, so this event is going to be in Copperopolis. It's a small little uh, town from the Civil War era. The venue was actually an old armory. I'll give you the address for that. It's 695 Main Street, Copperopolis, California. Our event will be held at 1:30. The doors open, 2 o'clock. The event starts, and it's a $10 come in. You do get an appetizer with that. And the $10 just kind of helps us recuperate what we spent, to putting the event together. And we have some great people involved with this, patriots. We have even people in the community. We have a really beautiful gospel singer who's going to be there showcasing, and she's actually she's like upcoming right now on some of these music charts. So we're really thrilled to have her there. But our guest of honor, Daniel Mercury, I really wanted to give him an opportunity to show um, community here and I hope other people will also be willing to do that for the grassroots candidates, that there are more options than just Daniel, or I'm sorry, than Hilton or Bianco. It's dishonest when you type in, give me a list of the governor candidates in Google, and they give you two names. That's dishonest media.
Yeah.
California, we have choices. And yeah, I want to talk about splitting the vote. It's kind of like Southern California is backing Bianco, and Northern California is all about Hilton. Well, who's splitting the vote already? It's not the grassroots candidates, right? And then there's this thing where, it's like I feel like we're not voting for the best candidate anymore. We're voting to win. And I feel like this is the opportunity for this community, at least, to see a candidate who is I consider to be a diamond in the rough, because he is not just fighting for civil rights, like a lot of the candidates state that's what they're doing. He's fighting for our God-given rights, and that makes him very unique. Yeah, like, Daniel Mercury has, who is he as a man? He's a man of God. He's an author of Lucifer Zenith, which is a book that ties the Constitution to the biblical word. He's a family man. He served as a Black Knight in the Navy. He's born here in California, so he's native Californian. These are just like all the common things to know about Daniel, but what's deeper behind Daniel that really just piqued my interest about him was this man, you can tell by talking to someone, if that person is genuine. And
Yeah.
I felt that with Daniel, like this genuine integrity just glows off of him. And it's not just that he's a likable person. He's genuinely got integrity. And this is the kind of person that I want to be supporting for our next California governor. Read his policies. You could go to his website, danielforcaliforniagovernor.com. His policies, I don't want to compare them to other people, but my own personal opinion is they outdo every other person's policies. And I'll add this too. I've had opportunity to meet several of these candidates. We've done interviews with them. We're still doing interviews with them. And still my opinion has not changed where I want to put my support. And it's, not about splitting the vote or anything like that or winning. It's on principle, because Daniel Mercury, in my opinion, is the right one for the state of California. Just go in, check out his policies, and take it back from there, Charlie.
Well, as the California Patriot Project legend, one thing that the left would absolutely adore, and that would be to see us fighting it out between Hilton and Bianco in the primary election next summer. And they would absolutely love that, because it would split the vote. We haven't seen another, there's, what's her name, Barbara? Kamala Harris has dropped out. I'm trying to remember the name of the woman who's the front runner on the Democrat side of things. Matter. They're all the same. We know what they stand
I didn't know
for.
they even have one going, do they?
When we know what they do, we know what they believe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's polling quite high, actually, in the 30s. How do we combat against that, other than just doing what we've been doing, is trying to get the word out? How do we combat against the jungle primary in California that puts the two top vote getters into the final race?
For me, we've exhausted the fact that we're battling a top-down problem with the GOP. We have grassroots GOP candidate or GOP people that are a part of it that I do consider patriots. But the reality is, at the end of the day, it comes down to money, and who's got the money, and who's going to be the one that's going to slush fund that money back into the GOP's pocket once the game is over and they've got their guy in. So they made it pretty clear that's how that they operate. and I've talked to many people from the GOP that have come into spaces. I've had them as guests, and we've covered this. I've even tried to go and they also have paralleled in with the CRA. So same story over there on the CRA. We've got a old boys club, and we're not in it. So basically, uh, my angle that I'm trying to work is that I've got 1,500 California Patriots together so far, and that's in a couple of months. I'm going to keep on doing that, and our first meetup is coming up, so we can unite more California Patriots. My strategy is to hope that we can get big enough with Cap to make the GOP stand up and take notes and be like, oh shit, maybe this is MAGA that's driving the GOP's numbers way up, because right now they're so conceited. They just think, oh, the GOP is doing great. We're like, no, MAGA's doing great. I mean, our movement is doing great. GOP, everybody hates the GOP right now. I mean, from even the people that are in the GOP hate the GOP. So it's like, so I mean, we're all trying to fix it from the inside, and we're all trying to write the party. And I mean, aside from stepping into a third party, I mean, we have to try to put lipstick on what we have, right?
I've
So
heard the whole thing about starting a third party, a MAGA party thing. I'm like, that's great. Go ahead and do that, and then you'll guarantee we'll never win another election again, because
yeah.
again, it's all about splitting the vote. They have the majority in the state of California. It's up to the GOP to be saying, hey, we have a better way. Come on over here. But you're right, Paul. It's all about who has the most money and who has the most name recognition, period.
Yeah.
They're not interested in anything grassroots. They haven't been since the Tea Party. The California GOP has rejected and pushed them away and pushed them down, tried to do everything they can to make them not effective. And unfortunately, in California, it worked. It worked. I want to ask both of you this. I'm going to get your thoughts on this. Chris Ann Hall, constitutional attorney who I admire and respect, said this stat that just stunned me. In the state of California, a third of the population claims to be Christian. A third claims to be Christian. Yet only about 40% of them are even registered to vote. And they'll only show up during the big presidential elections. So they pick whomever everyone else has orchestrated in the primary election, because we have primaries and we have midterms. We don't show up for that. The Republicans are in the teens for showing up for primary elections. That's pathetic. We can't
And that's
win
also
if we're not
right
showing
along.
up and we're not involved.
Exactly. That's also the other part of the project, is that, I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years, CharLee. You've been right there with me. And what I've noticed and identified is the basically the algorithm of the way this all works. We have our election cycles, jumps up, spikes down. Right after that, movement dies, goes flatline for a while. Next thing comes up, spikes up, drops back down. Now here we are. Unfortunate as it is, Charlie Kirk happens. It spikes up, and once this passes, it'll drop back down again, because we know that this is how it works. So with the project, right after the election, literally 2 weeks after the election, that's when I started building the first community that got taken down. But I started.
Was that on YouTube?
No, Make California Great Again. So I started the Make California Great Again community. The trademark told me I can't use their name, so I changed the name to Make California Great Again X. I built it up to 1,280 people. They said that they were going to sue me, so I changed it again to Make Cali Great Again X. They continued to come after me, and they were able to get Twitter to shut down my account for trademark violation, even though the name was totally different.
Who is that?
The trademark holder of Make California Great Again, Joe. I can't remember her last name, but at any rate, so yeah, she did get that shut. Yeah, it was wait for Patriots to come together, right? Well, that was her mistake, because now I'm really glad to not be connected to her name anymore, because apparently she's going once flown over the
Yeah, I
cuckoo's
like the
nest. So
name. Yeah, it's a good acronym too. CAP, CAPP, California
yeah,
CA,
yeah,
Patriots.
it worked out. It worked out really good. So we built CAP. I think that the name, I think
Nice.
that it's going to transcend. I mean, transcend the MAGA Trump administration, and that's what we want. We want this to be something that goes long into the future. And if we can transcend that and keep it going, and rather than having the up and down, if we can capture that middle ground and keep the momentum up by doing meetups like around the state of California, then we can be ready to get people like Daniel in. You know what I mean? Because if we had, and also in the cap, I have it broken down into 11 sub communities that are for your voting districts. So you can join your own voting community and get your own candidates in your communities throughout the state of California.
Good. Oh, that's good. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah. So it's set up. It's set up through the North Coast, the Northern Mountains, the Wine Country, Gold Country, Bay Area, Sacramento Valley, Central Coast, South Coast, Northern Mountains, and Inland Empire, and San Joaquin. I think I got them all. But at any rate, you can join any one of those communities. Anybody can build their own group within that community that they can go ahead and start doing meetups of their own. And so, yeah, it's just really trying to foster the patriot movement is what it comes down to. And if we can get Daniel to start showing up to those events, I mean, that could be a really good way for him to get himself out there.
And he is, thanks to you, Minnie, coming up in October. What day again?
That is October 4th.
4th.
I also wanted to say something off. You're bringing up the Christian vote.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there
that
is,
yeah, I want your take on that. How do we
yeah.
how do we encourage our own fellow believers to actually get involved civically, godly civics?
Um, so, you know, there are constitutional clauses that are biblical that can be integrated into, church classes. And I think that's
Salt and
really
light. The Salt
invaluable.
and Light Council is a good one.
Yeah, I think that's really invaluable for churches if they do want to get politically involved because they really need to understand the connection with the Constitution and the biblical word. I think it's not a good thing when churches just jump in but really don't have that background. But yeah, we need the Christian vote. That is the dynamic that will change, especially here in California. The red vote over to the Republican side. But that being said, we have to be careful. I always suggest to everybody, regardless of where you get your information, which can come from church or wherever, um, you always need to use your own discernment and do your own investigations and do your own homework.
We don't have pastors talking about these kind of things in their services, and that's because of the 501c3, which was purposefully set up under Lyndon Johnson, one of the wickedest presidents this country's ever had. Not an accident. It was to threaten them with, if you talk about political things, we will take away your tax exempt status. And they believe it. Although even we have pastors like Jack Hibbs at Calvary Chapel in Chino Hills boldly speaking up and speaking out. He hasn't had his tax exempt status taken away because I don't think they would dare do that. But in California, you never really know. So, Minnie and Legend, have you, like me, noticed a drop in attendance at events when we have these kind of things, especially at the California State Capitol? And Legend, for some reason, I'm not seeing you right now.
Well, I think Legend kind of hit on that. When a catastrophe happens, like when Trump was assassinated, you know, out there attending the events. But then as soon as a little time goes by, that fades out, and then it's just back to kind of like that main little supportive group, right? That starts
Yeah.
the rallyings to begin with. So here's what I like to say to viewers: like the battles aren't going away. We have to keep fighting. Patriots are on the front lines every day. I'll tell you, I don't sleep. I don't go a day without not doing something, a conversation or anything that I'm not fighting for my country. We have so many bad bills that are crossing the floor right here in California. People aren't paying attention to. We need we the people to take back their power. Right now, we're allowing basically corporate America to run us like a business. That is never how
Yeah,
we were intended to be. The
that's so true.
power was supposed to be for us, and we
Right?
need to acknowledge that and take it back. Now, and I'll tell you another reason I like Daniel Mercury is because he doesn't want to lead us. He wants to serve us. He wants everybody to be empowered with the education of knowing their constitutional rights. Not just constitutional, but the founding fathers, the documents that were set in place that built this country. I mean, you have to think about this. America is just simply an idea. And at any moment, if we quit believing in it, it doesn't exist. Well, right now, it's like we're not really believing in America anymore, are we? Because we're so far gotten from the Constitution, our founding documents.
That's so true. Legend. I know that you've seen a drop off in attendance at different events that we've tried to have just to bring awareness. But you recently were a major part of a vigil for Charlie Kirk up in your area in Auburn, Northern California. It was
Hmm.
very well attended. And so keep doing what you're doing, buddy. That's awesome. Your X Spaces project, your California Patriot project has been effective in getting people to show up and realize, hey, we got to come together. We got to not only for us, but for our spirits to minister to each other as it does in church. Do not forsake the gathering of yourselves together, the word tells us, but also as a show of strength. I think that that is very important because I don't want to be part of a silent majority. I'm not silent and I am in the majority, but getting the rest of the majority to actually speak up has been difficult. What are your thoughts on that?
Charlie, I'd love to take credit for that. I didn't get those people out there. Charlie did. Um, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've just provided a space for people to show up and show their patriotism. I just happened to be doing what I do, and people came. It wasn't me; it was Charlie. So, whew.
We the people,
Getting me there a little
California,
bit,
is
but
great
yeah,
immortality.
I'm glad that people are showing up.
Oh, me too. We the People
Say
California
again.
is an extraordinary group. Freedom Rider 1776 has been doing amazing work getting us to come together and a platform to be able to show up in numbers. But I think that we need to get involved in this governor's election like never before. We need to get many. I don't know if you're going to have registration forms for voting, get registered to vote at your event, but I would recommend it if there's a way to do that. Um, the simple fact that I can't even get them. I'm always talking about registertovote.ca.gov, registertovote.ca.gov. You don't have to register as a Republican. I would prefer you did because that way you could vote in the Republican primaries. You can help decide next summer who's going to be going to the main election in November. We got to have you showing up for that. Are you going to be doing that there, Minnie, at your event?
No, that wasn't a plan, but it's definitely something that could be integrated into a future
I think
event
it'd be
after.
good.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really good. Um, I just love that you're doing this. I thank you so much for it. So, if you could encourage anyone to make sure and join us on this, what would you say to them, Minnie?
I would just say that we, the people, need to be thinking for ourselves and making our own decisions and not following recommendations or suggestions by anyone, but really just sitting down with your family at home and going over each candidate. By the way, there's 2 dozen of them. You have choices, and make the best decision based on principle, because we keep voting the same way we're voting right now. We're going to keep getting the same representation we always get. And look,
Mhm.
guys, it's not working. We got to do something different. We need to start voting on principle. And maybe that's going to be hard and rough, but in the end, maybe we win that battle.
I'm amazed at how many of our fellow patriots who show up at these events, because I asked this question one time when I was a guest speaker at the Capitol building. I asked a show of hands, how many of you are actually registered to vote? It was less than half. And I literally chastised them right then and there. What is wrong with you? Why would you not do that? Legend, I'm a shooter. I'm definitely all about our Second Amendment. I think that's what has set this nation apart from the rest of the world and brought us to where we are. The fact that we do have the right to keep and bear arms, not only against enemies, but also against a tyrannical government if it ever, God forbid, came to that. That's the one thing that has dissuaded and stopped a lot of these actions of the left that wants to literally usher in their new world order, their one world government, where you're going to have nothing and be happy. So, Legend, I can't even get gun owners to register. Oh, I don't want to be on their radar. Your guns are registered with the Department of Justice. Dude, you're on the radar. You're not
Yeah.
going to register to vote? You're not
That
even
is
going
the
to.
craziest thing I've ever heard.
It
You don't
is,
want
but
to
it's
register to vote because you don't want to get on the radar because of your guns. That does for voting. That doesn't.
then maybe
I
some.
don't get it. I mean, I could see like not wanting to get a concealed carry permit because you don't want to be on the radar, but I don't see that's really not a very good excuse not to vote. But I think that like at these CAP events, that's what they're for. That's like literally what I'm doing. If somebody wants to bring voter registration forms to start getting people to vote, bring it out. People want to do the No on 50, bring it out. People want to promote their Constitution Day event, bring it out. Whatever you want to do. Come out, promote yourself. It's about self promotion, and it's about action. It's about getting the people to do things. And I'm hoping that like if we can have somebody that will show up to these events that will actually get people to vote. I mean, shoot, that'll make it all worthwhile right there. If we can get one person to vote,
I
you know,
agree.
just one.
How do we find out more information about the upcoming event on October 4th?
Well, we're definitely going to share this video out. um, so I do have an email set up. You can RSVP to patriots of California at gmail.com. We are also all over on different social medias, Instagram, TikTok, promoting the flyer. I've also posted it in our county area newspapers. But besides that, like it's pretty hard to get something out like this because, as I highlighted earlier, the news media is
Oh, they'll ignore
basically
it.
hiding.
They will ignore. I was
Yeah.
going to ask you if you've actually sent out press releases to the TV stations, radio, newspapers in the major market area. Closest to you would be, of course, Stockton and Sacramento. But to what avail? They're they're not going to
Yeah,
show
I
up.
mean,
They're
even
not going to
even our
report.
grassroots candidates are struggling to get news media, through the mainstream. Not even a 30-second, session. Why is that? I think we should be questioning that.
I agree. All right, my friends. And one more time, that that email address to get more information.
So the email is patriots of California
Of
at
California
gmail.com.
at gmail.com. All right.
Yes.
And Legend, where do we find your X spaces?
You can find my X Spaces at the California Patriot Project on X. And we have our first upcoming event at McGuire's Sports Bar and Grill in Auburn. That's going to be from 4 to 8
That's this
p.m.
coming Saturday,
Is the
August
networking
20th.
portion of that. And then at 8 o'clock, Dream and Dreamer starts playing some classic rock and 80s or 90s music. and it should be a lot of fun. So
I said August 20th. I'm sorry, September 20th. That's this
I'm
Saturday.
expecting a really good turnout. I need to actually call, and I'm expecting probably 100 people.
And
Realistically, I think
how do
that
we get
that's
more
going to happen.
information about that? Do you have
So
a
we'll see what
website or
happens.
anything?
I mean,
You
on
have
the Facebook event, it's going, but it's around. People know about it, and people and I've heard that there's a buzz, so I'm looking forward to it.
good. How do we
So,
find out more
see.
information? Where do we go for that? Where do we go for more information on that?
There again, you can go. You can find it on Facebook. There's California Patriot Project. I just put it on Facebook because I was getting asks for that. You can find it on Instagram, California Patriot Project, and same on X. But X is the community, the main community where people connect because we do spaces. I host spaces 4 nights a week so that people are connecting, and we're getting some pretty amazing things happening.
That'll be a fun event, and I'm really looking forward to October 4th with you, Minnie, with Daniel Mercury, a great conservative Republican running for governor of California, October 4th. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on Do Not Talk. I appreciate it. Okay, see you later. Minnie does that. That's awesome. She's adorable. And you can help this show by following me on my website. You can find merchandise there. I got hats, t-shirts, mugs, fun stuff on there, and you'll be supporting and helping the show if you buy some of my products, my merchandise on there. Click on the merch store tab, and you can contact me. That's that there. You find that tab there. You want to be on the show, you can actually book a guest slot. Click on that tab. You can be on the show too, talking about your event, like Minnie and Legend just did. You can also join Team CharLee. So that way, if I already had Facebook delete every single one of my pages a little over 2 months ago, 40,000 people gone just like that. I'm trying to promote these shows now any way I possibly can. Let people know I'm on rumble.com/do not talk, rumble.com/do not talk. And you'll always find all the shows and all that merchandise and everything else I talked about at my website, CharLeeSimons.com, CharLeeSimons, CharLeeSimons.com. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.